What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Real Fitness. We are here with Viviana Suarez, one of our OG members, over 9 years. You know it's been over 9 years?
I think it's been 9 years this year.
It's been 9 years this year, yeah. She's been lifting a lot of weights
Yes.
over those years. But Vivian, I'm gonna start it off. Do you remember what first brought you into Real Fitness? What is it that made you be like, I wanna check this gym out?
I do. I had moved to LA in 2015. This was now 2016. I had been a year here. I was trying on a pair of pants that I had never worn, and they fit horribly. And I was like, fuck. Sorry, can I curse?
Yeah, come on. This is an adult gym.
I was like, wait, what? Something here got out of hand, and I couldn't quite place it. But I was like, I have to do something about it. And at this point, I'm like, I know enough that's like, there's no easy way to address this, right? So what I did then, I started being better about my nutrition first, and I did that for about a month and got some good results and momentum. And then the next thing I knew, I had to like go to a gym, but I would not know what to do at a gym. And I lived on Manchester, up the hill from here. And you guys had a banner out, I think, that said private training, call here. And I did. I think I emailed. I think Lucho wrote me back immediately. I didn't even do the free intake session. I was like, no, I need to start working out.
I don't think we offered it back then. We didn't know about doing that yet.
Well, and I knew I needed to start with private training because I was basically, I'm like, how do I set up myself for success? I'm like, I need to have something that makes me feel accountable. I need to do something where I'm like learning the basics. And so I kind of like just made the decision without knowing much that, okay, I'm going to sign up to do private training. It's going to be near my apartment, so I don't even have excuses of like, I have to travel far to do it. And I came in, I did a session like at night. And I remember I was probably sore for a week. I didn't know how to continue coming. I was like, maybe I need to rest. Maybe I can't work out until I'm not sore anymore. But I was just like coming out of probably like 18 years of not having a very active lifestyle. I would say like since I hit puberty, I was probably like stopped being an active kid.
So you weren't, this was like your first workout experience? Probably.
I mean, I feel like there were times in my life that I'd like do something workout adjacent, like maybe I would go on a hike or like walk a 5K or do things like that, and I'd be like, oh, maybe tomorrow, maybe this week. Now that I did this, I ripped off the Band-Aid. Maybe now I can keep going, but but it wasn't ever intentional enough. But yes, that time in 2016, it was like, okay, I gotta go someplace where I can learn. I gotta start like working out and being and like creating a healthy habit. So I think from the beginning, to me, it was always about like, I understand I need to create the habit and what are the things I need to do to set myself up for that.
A lot of people, they all the time, they like our newer members or people who are talking about starting the gym, they're always talking about the intimidation. They're like, display. I walk by the gym, I see people in here working out, and I can't do that stuff. Like I'm scared to start. Do you remember how you felt? And a lot of members, it always surprised me because I mean, you guys have been here for so long.
Yeah.
But then you'd be like, oh, you don't understand how scared I was when I first started. How did you feel? Do you remember how you felt like when you were first coming in?
One of my favorite things about this gym is like whatever you're doing, it always feels like intimate and like there's focus on whatever you might need if you need it. The first couple of times I was doing private training, though, I was coming at night and it was pretty empty. So it felt like it didn't have that like it wasn't intimidating. There wasn't, but then I switched to the mornings. And I would work out at the same time as the 7 a.m. class. And I would be here working out and be afraid of the 7 a.m. class. I was like, I could never do a class. I mean, granted, I'm still learning very much like all the basics of movements and weight training. But I would be mortified of the classes. And I mean, I also remember the first time I had to switch classes because I was training with Blake and he went on The Bachelorette. So
so I was gonna ask you what made you take a class, but it was
that Blake went on The Bachelorette.
So her trainer was on The Bachelorette, who was a trainer here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Blake. But
Shout out to
so
Blake.
that's what. So Blake going on The Bachelorette. It's such a LA thing. But yeah, so. So it was your trainer going on The Bachelorette.
Yeah, so it was like, wait, well then I still want to do weight training at least 2 times a week. So I started to doing the classes instead. And I did a class, and I remember the first thing that was tricky was not any of the movements. It was like, what weight do you pick? Because now you're picking weight for yourself.
Yeah.
And like that was the first learning experience. But yeah, I got through the class and I was like, yeah, I can do this. Everything's modifiable. Mm-hmm. Everything you can do at your own rhythm, at your own pace. And because I had some knowledge of like the foundation blocks, I felt like I could do it. Mm-hmm. and I did it. And then I was like, okay, I can do these classes full time instead of doing private training. And then my fear was like, am I gonna push myself enough? Mm-hmm. What if I start taking these classes and start taking it easy on me? Because there's not someone like pushing me one-on-one. But little did I know that they'll push you just as hard.
Yeah. What was the hardest thing with the workouts? What was the hardest workout you had to like overcome that took you time, but you overcame it, and now it's like one of your favorite things to do?
One of my favorite things to do?
I mean, I don't know. It was the hardest thing, but then it became the easiest thing.
That's an interesting one. I would say anything with a barbell. At the beginning was very daunting, and now anything I do with a barbell, I feel like a badass.
Real badass.
But like squats, for example, squats were probably like dreadful at the beginning, but now I'm like, nah, this is my jam. So yeah, I would say that, but I do love lunges.
For the record, no one ever says they love
Really?
lunges. Yeah, that's cool, because that's usually a hated exercise. So yeah, shout out to you for loving lunges.
A single leg, what's it called? Single leg.
The split squat with the back foot up?
Yeah, no.
Oh, you don't like those?
Pistol squat? No.
No, I can't do that.
But you like the lunges.
Who do you think I am?
I thought you were Supergirl.
Yeah, I am. But I don't have to do a pistol squat to be that.
Oh, okay. We're gonna cherry pick here, huh?
You know what we used to have that was it made me feel like, oh, I can do anything. The tire. Flipping that tire at the beginning, it was I'm like, no way I can flip this tire. And then you start getting the hang of it, and you start like putting your body into it, and then it's like flipping the tire like nothing.
I forgot about the tire. Yeah, you were here through the tire flipping years.
I was here through the tire flipping.
Did you also did you ever use the sledgehammer on it?
Well, they brought the sledge back.
We brought the sledge back. We got the sledge on Sundays.
Sundays
at.
It took me a minute to remember the rhythm of it, but it was a nostalgic moment.
The tire was fun. It just took up way too much space, but the tire was fun. Yeah, that was a good one. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So now, okay, because you're a class regular now. What's your favorite class?
I was just thinking that.
This is hard. You know what? I go through phases. Right now, I enjoy all of them equally, but historically, I think boxing has been my favorite on Fridays.
Okay.
Because there's something about, it's the last day of the week. You've been through a work week already, basically, and you get so much aggression out. And I'm not obviously an aggressive person, but there's a lot that we carry around stress-wise, and it's just like a good break in the week to do something that's different and like to use your body. It's to create force. I don't know. There's something very therapeutic about it for me.
Yeah.
I think all the workouts here are very therapeutic for me. But yeah, if I have to pick. But I also love Jesse's classes and I love McKenna's classes.
What advice would you give to your old you that walked into the gym that the new you is now like in her new place, in her new body, her new mentality? What would be the advice?
I think I would tell her to trust her instincts. Um, I think I mean I guess it's natural from like growing up, but I think I approached things with more fear, less confidence back then. I think I second guessed a lot of things in the journey, and I think there were times where I'm like I was putting so much pressure on myself that it wasn't fun anymore. Um, there was like this, I had this sensation of like, if I miss a week, if I miss a day, what's gonna happen? And obviously throughout the first couple of years, I had a big weight loss. I got to like 50 pounds loss at one point. And I remember being like, I could bounce back at any moment. And it's like, just like enjoy it. Like you did it. Have fun while you're at it. I think now I'm at a point where I can have a lot more fun and I don't know, a better appreciation for where I'm at.
Yeah, you kind of like one of the questions you kind of weaved it in there, but we were gonna ask like what's been like the most impressive result you've gotten from working out? It's been over 9 years. I'm sure you had a lot of different,
Yeah, I mean,
But what would you say stands out the most is like the most impressive results from working out here?
it's tricky, right? Because I could say, oh, I lost 50 pounds, but I don't weigh that anymore. Like I don't weigh that anymore. The composition of my body has changed a lot, and now to me it's like way less about a number. So if you asked me 5 years ago, maybe I would say the weight loss. But I think if you ask me now, I love that I feel athletic. Because I was never an athletic person. And I genetically don't have an athletic body, right? I'm like short and thick. I mean, it is what it is. But I get to like run around and jump around and feel good. And sometimes when I'm getting blood drawn at the doctor, they'll ask me if I'm an athlete. And I'm
really?
like, yeah.
What are they like? Damn, this blood, like whoa,
Yeah,
what are you doing to get this blood? Like,
yeah, there's something they know. They're like, do you work out a lot? I'm like, yeah. Are you gonna? Sometimes I wear a Puerto Rico baseball shirt that I have to work out, and people will see me and be like, oh, are you a baseball player? And I'm like, I love it because I am the farthest thing from an athlete. But I am.
But you
I'm
are.
athletic.
Isn't that crazy how the mind changes? Your mind changes after so many continuous habit of doing this that whatever mentality you had before, insecurities or thoughts or what you thought about training to where you are now, that's a transformation, a whole mental transformation that you're not seeing it the same way. It changed. I mean, hearing you say that, it's like, man, that means everything that was in here is like reprogrammed. It has a brand new outlook. And I think that's like one of the gifts when somebody sticks with this, that if they gave it a chance, they'd be surprised what becomes of you after a period of time. It gives me joy hearing that we're able to keep you so you could benefit and reap that benefit today.
I've always been disciplined and dedicated like in school. And I'm disciplined and dedicated at work. But I kind of I'm doing it for other people, right? Like, oh, I was disciplined at school because I want my parents to be proud of my grades. And I'm disciplined at work because I have a boss and a team that I answer to. But building a habit of going to the gym here is like, it's the first time I get to be disciplined for something for me. And I don't I it's always been so fun for me to come here, especially like at the beginning. There was so much like discovery and learning, and I feel like I was able to create the habit pretty quickly. And now it's crazy looking back. I'm like, if I don't work out for 2 weeks, I start to feel it emotionally. Like I start to feel sadness, less energy, and I'm like, oh my god.
Right.
I start going a little bit crazy, and it's like, oh wow, it's just like such a big change. It's like such a big part of my life.
Do you have anything now, like any new goals? Like let's say there's things in the gym, just things that you look at and you're like, I want to be able to do this, or I want to get better at this.
Honestly, no. So not something like long term. I think I'm like realistically, I want to feel good about myself. I want to maintain the habit. I want to leave the gym feeling like I did my best, and I'm proud of my performance in that class or whatever.
What about like an exercise? Are there any
But
exercises?
that's the
in
thing.
here?
Exercise. When you guys have something new
Yeah.
that I've never done before and that looks hella scary,
Yeah.
that I'm always like, okay, let me, like, that is like something like I'm gonna try to do it, and I'm gonna try to do it right and with the right form.
What's something recently that's did that to you?
Oh shoot. I don't know. I feel like Michael always has some crazy stuff that I've never seen before, and it's always like, okay, let's try it. He might be getting a little bit too creative with the kettlebells, but
Have you juggled the kettlebell yet?
I haven't juggled the kettlebell. But my knee is currently a purple from swinging a kettlebell right into it. It's okay though. I kept going. You wouldn't have known. I kept going. No, but there's always something new, and sometimes it's like a core thing that looks new, or you guys get a new artifact.
Artifact.
They feel like artifacts. They feel like artifacts sometimes.
Relics. We got equipment that look like relics.
But you know what? Also, to me, form is important. During the pandemic, I figured out that things that I was doing heavy just because people around me were doing it heavy. When I was in the pandemic, I didn't have access to as heavy of weights. And I started doing the same exercises with like moderate weight. I was like, oh, whoa, I can understand the form. I understand the cue better because I'm not struggling with a heavier weight. So for me, it's always like, can I improve my form? Can I make sure my form is perfect? And I find myself striving more for that. Can I pick a weight that allows me to challenge myself for the entirety of the reps? Not, can I do more reps if I choose a certain way? So I don't know. That's kind of like my track right now.
Right now, if one of us didn't show up for class but the gym was open, you feel like you could run a class? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, like, and I think every trainer would agree with, like, Viviana is on point. Like, if you are describing a class and then you go back and you say something different, she'll be like, no, wait a minute, you said that it was this many reps. Or she'll be like, I've even in class, hey, Bazi, you need to be squatting lower on that.
Bazi does need to be squatting lower.
So do you feel like at this point, 9 years, do you think you could run a class here?
Okay, I thought about this. And could I do it? Yes. I don't know that I would ever put myself in the position because I think it's a lot of pressure to be able to teach people that learn differently. And finding the thing that like makes them understand and correct their form. What you guys do is, I find it super impressive, right? Because I'll see how you coach other people around me, and I see how their form like improves, and it's like, oh, that
And then you put your 2 cents in too. You like, be sure you do this when you're doing.
Yeah,
the movie.
I'll be the assistant coach any day, any day. Get me a name badge. I'm ready. But yeah, I mean, I also there's cues that I know have worked for me. So sometimes I'll chime in to be like, oh, when someone gave me this cue, it really helped me. So it's like sharing wisdom.
Do you have a favorite moment at the gym? In the 9 years, do you have a favorite moment?
It's hard to pick one because there's been so many. I mean, one of the core memories, I was taking a class with Peter, and I was standing in the spot I always stand in, which is kind of like diagonal to the ski erg, kind of like a little bit tucked away. It's my spot, don't take it. And Peter, I think, had us hopping forward in the warm-up. And I understood we were only hopping once, so like I hopped towards the ski erg, but then all the other people around me were like hopping multiple times. And I kind of like throw my hands in the air like, what's going on here? I thought we were just supposed to hop once. So, but like I didn't have any room because the ski erg was right there, and Peter's making fun of me because he's like, are you rebooting? What's wrong with you? What? Like,
I remember that too. I was like,
I felt like I was a character in a video game and like ran into a wall and couldn't figure out.
It was
how to
like
get
a
away
glitch
from
in a
the
video
wall.
game when it's
Yeah.
just the character keeps, and you can go around.
Yeah.
Like you can the controller allows you to go right and then forward. Like,
Yeah, but like
I
I could pick a favorite moment with all of you. I mean, I also remember the time I was working out with an Apple Watch, and I'm doing a push-up or something, and the like security thing gets triggered, like 911, whatever, and I caught it. I stopped it, and I went about with the workout, and then the class ends, and it was Jesse's class, and he's like, yo, I have tons of texts from Peter and Lucho asking if you're here. And then I see my phone, and I have tons of missed calls from my mom. Turns out that when the Apple Watch alert got triggered, my mom got an alert as if something was happening to me. So she somehow found a way.
Yeah, I remember that.
She found a way to call the gym because she knew I was on the way to the gym. She called the gym, got a hold of Peter, and was like, "Is my daughter at the gym?"
And your mom's in Puerto Rico, right?
My mom's
this
in
is from Puerto Rico.
So then Peter's like, "Oh, let me find out." He's trying to reach out Jesse, but Jesse's teaching. So then Lucho goes and checks the cameras and confirms that I am safe and well taking the class. And then they call my mom back to be like, "Yeah, she's at the gym. She's working out. She'll probably call you right after."
Team effort.
Yeah.
That was a team effort right there.
I mean, to me, it was also like, damn, get these Puerto Rican women to run the FBI. Like, they'll find anyone. But yeah, I mean, like that. There's a million. I have so many good memories with like the community at the gym, right? And like the people I've gotten to meet and the people I've gotten to tease, because we all kind of tease each other. It's part of the sport. But yeah.
A worst moment?
Anytime there's a chipper on the board. God.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't
with
with
you,
the
I'm
high
with you.
reps. No. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't need to do 100 of anything.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think that's my favorite either, those chipper workouts. I remember I tried, I was like, no. This is
Yeah.
not a workout.
I feel like there's a period where we used to do it was like every other week there was chipper.
Every
we
Tuesday,
don't
it was
really.
like every Tuesday was a chipper.
Yeah, it's not. We don't do that anymore.
I'm like,
But I
who
remember there
hurt
was
you?
yeah. Do you have any questions for us? Any questions you
Yeah.
want to ask the real fitness?
Do you guys keep the carpenter on retainer?
The carpenter?
Yeah. Because this is like his Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
Every time it's like new cabinet over here, new
know
shelf
what?
over here.
Yeah, you know what? We've gone through a lot of different people. Like we're on carpenter number 10 right now. Yeah, they whatever they're like I don't know, man. It's like a lot of carpenters have made a lot of money off of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what has been the scariest moment as a gym owner
Oh.
in the years you've been open?
The truck that crashed into the gym.
That was more. It wasn't.
Yeah.
The truck was wild. That was more. That was shocking. The truck. So a lot of people probably haven't been around long enough. A truck crashed through the window, and was literally inside the gym, like went
like
flying
into
through the window
slam wall,
into the back of the gym. Yeah, like it was nuts. No one got hurt, thankfully. No one got hurt.
But was fortunate. The craziest part about that is we just installed those cameras that caught the act.
Yeah.
That's
that
true.
Was like unexpected coincidence.
To me, the craziest part about that was that we worked out with like a whole wooden contraption.
For like a year. It took so long.
Like forever. An old picture came up recently, and we're all like posting so happy, like after someone's birthday or something, and it's like, wooden wall.
The gym looks so bad. It looked like this bootleg just construction. We're like, how long did it take? Well, you learn quickly with like building codes and all it takes, and insurance takes forever.
Yeah.
So.
But like even that, like that was it was a big change to the space.
Yeah.
But like the energy never wavered, you know. It felt like we keep going.
Yeah. And Zoom, and you did Zoom with us all the.
I love the Zooms. I did the recorded Zooms. I would do the same class multiple times, but it kept me sane, and it just gave me like an easy, no frills way of keeping my habit in check, you know.
Mm-hmm. Last question. I'm gonna ask you. A lot of people, they're intimidated by real fitness, or just gyms in general. They've never worked out, and they see people doing stuff like, I don't think I can do this. What would be your advice to them to walk in and get started on a fitness program and to not be intimidated to start any gym, wherever they are?
Yeah. I would tell them you'd be surprised at what you can do. And you're 100% more likely to surprise yourself than to embarrass yourself. Because there's an introductory way of doing everything, and if you kind of surround yourself with the people that have the knowledge and give it an honest try, it's not gonna feel hard for very long. It's gonna feel challenging. It should feel challenging. But it doesn't. But it's like ripping off a Band-Aid for real. You start to lose the hesitation, and you start to like be more curious, and it's just you feel so much better almost immediately. Like to me, it was like you start sleeping better, you have more energy, and like those little things change how the rest of your week goes. Even if you're only working out for a couple of days. So yeah, I would say it's not as bad as it looks. It really isn't.
All right. Thank you for that, and thank you for being on Real Talk with Real Fitness, Viviana, the OG of the OGs. 9 years and counting. 9 years and counting.
And counting.
Over 1,000 plus workouts. So thank you again. Tune in to the next. Viviana, thank you, and we will see you 7 a.m. Monday
7 a.m.
working out.
Monday through Friday.
All right, catch her here.